Hello and welcome to Game Dog Saga. Today's episode we will be talking about BlackRock's champion Cuko, 3-time winner. Cuko was the pick of the litter, chosen by Mr. Rule Garza. He was a litter mate to Grand Champion Cheyenne, down from Cascudo 2-time winner and pats his ROM. One day, Mr. Garza agrees to sell BlackRock's Cuko because he had no time from being so busy with his work. Before BlackRock's bought him, he was told he was very restless and active, but he had not been started yet. Do you still want him? BlackRock's responded yes, without hesitation. Cuko was about 8 months old at the time. BlackRock's waited a few months before starting him, and boy did he surprise him. Cuko was a crazy dog that could squeeze very hard, but he did not know where to aim yet. After the roll with a bigger 18-month-old, BlackRock's new Cuko had uncanny strength that he had never witnessed before. A few weeks later, Felix and El Profe Ponce came to visit, and he wanted them to see Cuko in action, so he gave them a little time. He asked Felix to handle Cuko, and he came out like a freight train even more intensely than before. They handled them, and BlackRock tells Felix to turn Cuko away, and he walked far to make it a long scratch, when he heard Felix say, "He's loose!" Haha, Cuko was insane, and didn't even acknowledge BlackRock's since his back was turned and he couldn't see the dog. Pepperin was chilling on his chain and didn't know what hit him. Cuko runs through him at full speed and makes the loudest impact noise BlackRock had ever heard two hounds make. They start going at it, and they break them up right away. Afterwards, Cuko was going crazy in his crate like a scene from The Exorcist, and they discovered that he was an escape artist and could climb any wall or fence. A short time later, Cuko developed an abscess below his jaw, unrelated to his schooling. So BlackRock took him to the vet. The vet told him it was his glands, and he would have to operate, so BlackRock gave the okay. At first, they could not sedate Cuko or put him under like a normal dog, but when they finally did and cut him open, bright red blood came out, and it coagulated instantly. So BlackRock told the vet, see, he's in great shape. After the surgery, he began his recovery. To his surprise, he started going downhill fast. BlackRock didn't understand how, and much less why, so he took him to the vet again, and he was told that he has cancer of the lymph nodes. What? BlackRock thought? That's not possible. This is the strongest SOB I've ever touched. Cuko was a bag of bones on death's door, and all the vets say is that they can't do anything for him. So, he gives him the BlackRock's cocktail, and somehow he hit the bullseye with this treatment. The next day, Cuko started eating again and began his recovery. He wanted to live. After that illness, Cuko was never the strong freak of nature he once was, so BlackRock decided to rest him for more than a year with no action. One day, kennel member Trumpus comes to visit, and he says he wants to see Cuko go, so they put the other crazy SOB on the yard, T-Lac, on him. Cuko goes straight for the hindquarters, and T-Lac feels the power and grabs him by the muzzle. They break him up right away and let Cuko scratch, and Trumpus is amazed, but BlackRock tells him he is no longer a match dog, and leave it at that. A few weeks later, Trumpus was joking around with STW Kennel, and somehow they ended up hooked at 19 kilograms. So he calls BlackRock and says he hooked Cuko. He tells him he couldn't do it. During that moment in time, the war in their area of the country was at full tilt, and one couldn't travel to Tamaulipas without going through a war zone. But BlackRock agreed to condition him, as long as he would take him to the event from their yard on the same day as the show. They begin to work Cuko, and he has tremendous air with a passion to work. On the day of the show, BlackRock's friend, Mr. Guerrero, takes Cuko to the convention about 5 hours away. He was excited to handle Cuko, since he, along with the Garza brothers, once had his sire Cascudo. Cuko makes weight. His rival was STW's Johnny Red, a good one down from Macho Buck blood, who was very intense and super intelligent. When Cuko arrives in the square, Mr. Cardenas is impressed by his physique and says he has been worked very well. Dogs are released and Johnny starts fast, but once Cuko gets his turn, he hits very hard to the chest, shoulders, and kidneys. Johnny Red scratches once, and on the second he stands the line. Cuko made him protest, and it only took 28 minutes to stop Johnny. Cuko was now a one-time winner. BlackRock decided to rest him for a few months, and he tells himself that he has proved himself and would retire him. A while later, they were hooked in Mexico City at 19.5 kilograms for Champions Row's 4th. The opponent had told Blackrocks they were facing a good champion, called Phantasma, down from PIK champion Bo Jack Blood, on top of BBB's grand champion Spiky Big Red Blood on the bottom. Halfway through the keep, Zoro loses his next to last hanger and injures his mouth. Cuko would take his place with only 4 weeks left. The day of the show arrives, and champion Phantasma looks excellent, well-conditioned, and bigger than Cuko. Cuko was strong, but the altitude being higher than Denver had an effect on him, and he was not 100%. Phantasma likes the face, but when Cuko hits his spots, wow, very few animals like him. Cuko punished him very hard, and after 6 scratches each, Phantasma was picked up when Cuko was finishing him in the throat at the hour mark. Cuko was now a 2-time winner. Cuko stayed in Mexico City to heal at Blackrock's friend's Mr. Magana. A-Town was staying at Magana's to condition Grand Champion Sam Jr. for his 6th in Europe, and what a fabulous place for a keep it was. Great altitude, and the range had a beautiful view of the Popocatépetl volcano and its white snow caps. A-Town hooks 4 weights versus Munoz Kennels, a very active, fast lane team that wins most times. 2 of the weights were Cuko and Candy going for her Grand Champion. The other 2 were Comanche and another CML dog, both going for their first. Blackrocks tells A-Town, since the show was way up there in the mountains, it would be best if he works them at altitude, and he agreed. The day of the show arrives, and they have brought a Cardenas dog called Chato, who was supposed to have a freak mouth. On that day, Cuko looked like when he was a young dog. He had finally got all his strength back, and A-Town did an excellent job. Dogs are released, and right away Cuko gets in the chest viciously and opens up a severe faucet leak. The rival was hurt, and he was slowing down all the time, and Cuko goes to the throat, but once he decides to hit the kidneys, it's all over. They picked him up almost RIP. In a phenomenal display, he became Champion Blackrock's Cuko 3-time winner. A-Town then takes Cuko with him close by to Puebla with the Santanders. Blackrocks gets a call from him, and he tells him Cuko escaped and climbed over a fence and killed a sheep. No way! That was the 2nd time he had killed one. The first time one got into the yard, and he literally ate all of the insides and left only the hide. He was loco. On 2 occasions, he had climbed the wall to the other side with his chain, and they would rescue him and perform CPR to revive him, so they kept changing his setup and location. Blackrocks was about to hook him for Baja when they tell him that they aren't going into Poli from Rosarita Kennels since his dog won't make the weight. The next week, Cuko somehow dislodged his house, and it landed vertically, where he climbed it and went over the wall again. This time, they arrived too late, and Cuko could not be revived. This is how the story ends, about a dog that Blackrocks thought they would never match, and he gifted him a championship, a tremendous animal. Now he rests in peace, next to other great warriors in the ground, at Blackrocks Kennels. Blackrocks dedicates this story to El Blackrocks Trompas. He was an excellent friend and team member, with a gift to make people laugh that very few possess. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Game Dog Saga. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more episodes in the future. I am just a fan and an armchair historian of this wonderful breed. This video should be treated as hearsay and has been fabricated for entertainment purposes only. Stay safe and scratch on.